Good morning. Welcome back. Sending ravens. Let's see what we got today. 6 of Wands. That's a little victory card. He's doing a little victory dance through the city after winning a war, I guess, right? Everybody's cheering for him. You see that wreath, or for her, or whoever that is. Okay, so somehow, and this is a very personal card, and the card is coming up in a really personal placement. Like this is like the you of, or whoever's watching, this is representing them. So there's some kind of victory around you today, or you're feeling personally, internally good about yourself. Or if you aren't, you should be. How about that? Okay, there's some reason to celebrate here with this card, and celebrate self. Okay, like where you got to with something kind of thing. And here we have the Hermit. That's in the atmosphere, so let's keep looking. It could be a spiritual place you got to, because the Hermit's very spiritual. Or you've done some internal searching and got to really knowing yourself better, maybe. Yeah, so it's more of an internal celebration of work, maybe not so external. Right, and here giving us a clue where it's coming from. A lot of hard work in the past led to some kind of breakthrough, hard personal work. So you've been doing hard personal work on yourself, or really working hard in the world, feeling good about where you are. Okay, really introspective, and or taking time to yourself to really celebrate self, maybe, or needing to do that if you're not. And then with that 7 of Swords in the middle. 7 of Swords. I feel like mentally, because this is swords or thoughts and words, mentally it's important to really look at all the hard work you've done and where you actually are, and don't fall into self-criticism and defeat. Stay in where you are with yourself, where you know what you've come through and what you know you've accomplished. I feel like it's mentally important not to fall back into self-criticism, because the 5 of Swords can be internal, and internal processing can be beating yourself up a little. Like if it was in the atmosphere, it would be saying you're fighting with a lot of people and externalizing your angst. But the card, this feels like an internal reading card. Or reading, the whole reading feels really internal. So I feel like you may go back into self-criticism, and or that's a pattern of yours, maybe, or ours, maybe we're all capable of doing that. Yeah, so your advice is stay with where you are to the good. So keep remembering where you've got to, and don't go back to criticizing yourself and being hard on yourself. You're not in this place anymore. You've come to a better plateau. So you need to catch up. Sometimes we need to catch up to where we actually are. And it's always a good idea to love ourselves and give ourselves credit. And not to say to the point where, we're not seeing our faults. I'm not saying that. But humans are really good at seeing their faults. And sometimes we have to remember to see what we're doing right. And it just helps us on our path, really. Because the more we focus on the positive, the more the positive comes. And that includes to our own self. So it's a processing kind of thing, right? So how we process where we are is really important. Always, it's like talking to a third party. When we talk to a child, for instance, and we start the conversation with what they're doing wrong, right away we're shutting them down. Right away, there's a sense of they shut down, and they can enact where we say they are. They'll enact or keep creating. So start the conversation even with yourself, with what you're doing that you're proud about. What are you doing that you like? What have you done that is good, okay? Just like you would start a conversation with a child, like what you like about what they've been up to, and then you can talk about, after you start the conversation with what you like about what they're doing and what you like about them, now you can move into what you think they're still working on. That works best with humans in general, right? When you start a conversation with what they're doing wrong, what you don't like about them, that shuts them down and it shuts you down. Okay, so your internal conversation needs to stay loving and positive, and on to, even if you're not comfortable with it, what you like about yourself. Why not? Be your friend. Be a good friend to yourself. Yourself will reward you with more of the same. More good things come when you focus on what you love about yourself. Fall in love with yourself. It's really fun. I'm in love with myself. I think I'm awesome. I'm my best partner right now. And it took me a really long time to get there. And whenever even I receive criticism externally, I always internalize and go, okay, am I owning this? Like, because sometimes it's valid, but sometimes often it's a projected thing from somebody else that has nothing to do with you. It's their own process. So often what's coming at you that's negative isn't even yours. It doesn't even belong to you. So once you get to a place where you truly check in with yourself about what you're up to and where your motives are coming from, and you know they're from a good place, and I know mine are, I know that, okay, you don't need to be taking on other people's stuff anymore. And it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place to be. But don't take on your own stuff either, like your own self-criticism. Apply that even from your own self. Stay with, like this card says, stay with your truth and integrity about what you know about yourself. If you know you come from a good place, stay there, right? And make your adjustments from this place, and maybe not the criticism place, okay? Try a new way to do it, this card says, because that would be a new way. People don't often think about that, right? Try a new way to do things, and you will become enlightened through a new process. The Hanged Man, doing things from a different perspective. That's what he does, and he becomes enlightened. That's why the halo, by doing that. So things get better when he tries a new process. So try the process of self-loving and being kind and seeing what you're doing that's right and not always what's wrong. Thank you so much. And if you're enjoying the videos, do like and share and subscribe if you haven't already.